No! We will come to your earth and steal all your silverware.
Implore. I'm gonna implore you guys.
Card games on motorcycles!
In a world where two ordinary gamers team up to fight the forces of boredom, this is their podcast, and this is their story.
There's just no skits today.
Okay.
We're just cutting into a clean. We have a very big deal here today, Caz. We have so much shit going on.
There's no intro either. There's no
There's no intro. There's the intro. It was all here, but we have for the first time ever. By the way, I'm Hodder,
and I'm Caz. George Jones.
Cucumber Caz. Because we have a guest with us for the first time ever in the history of Two Guys in a Game. 10th episode. This is a huge milestone, but we'll get into that. We are joined by a very special guest. He's very famous. You guys, I've definitely heard of him, whether it was through Disney or through his comedy or through his stuff on YouTube and all the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now in the studio in Boner Studios, Mr. Gilbert Godfrey. Thank you so much for coming, Gilbert. Really appreciate it.
Good afternoon.
Now, something that people may or may not be aware of is the fact that you actually also appeared on a YouTube series just for a little. You did a couple episodes with it. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I did play video games for a very small amount of money.
How much was the money?
15 yen.
Okay, wow. So what's that work out to an American?
About 45 cents.
Okay, fair enough. So what exactly did that entail? What did you do with... what was the name of the channel?
It was called Your Average Nub.
Nub. Okay, I couldn't remember that last part.
I just sent them voiceovers. I didn't have anything to do with the channel itself.
So what exactly did you do on there?
I sent over commentary for the games they sent me.
What were the two games you played?
I played Borderlands 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5.
So where can the people find this if they'd like to hear Gilbert Godfrey play some video games?
It's a very long URL at YouTube because he never customized the YouTube's URL. If you search Your Average Noob on YouTube, it should be about the 47th result that comes up.
47th results. That's Your Average Noob. If you want to hear Gilbert Godfrey talk some video games. Now, Mr. Godfrey, I believe my co-host Caz Jones has a question for you.
Yeah, I just won. What was it like playing a parrot?
Humiliating.
What was so humiliating about it?
Have you ever had to play a character that flies around and has the IQ less than a pineapple?
I believe Caz plays Falco sometimes.
Hey, Falco is just challenged because he can't fly, okay?
But they designed Falco in that game because they couldn't draw any humans.
Personally, he prefers the air.
Personally, I prefer the air. What do you prefer, Mr. Godfrey?
I prefer to squint.
Now, why do you squint, though? I'm curious. I've always wanted to ask.
When you see the inside of Joan Rivers' vagina once, you can never open your eyes fully again.
I think that's about all the time we have with Mr. Godfrey. But Mr. Godfrey, before you go, we actually have another very special guest here that we're going to let in now because he wants to have a chat with you. And it's Mr. Gene Simmons. Gene, come on over. This is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And Mr. Godfrey, I have one thing I would like to say to you because everybody knows that everybody steals from Kiss. But I think you've gone a little too far with the character in Aladdin.
Do you realize the Kiss is just the Beatles if the Beatles were Jews?
Two guys in a game, everyone.
Two guys in a game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the episode for today. No, but seriously. So we are being joined for the first time ever on the podcast by a very special guest. He does a lot for us, as much as he will probably not admit it. Now we have kicked Mr. Godfrey out. We're here with our main guest, the producer, Mr. Brandon Bowden.
Where's my 65 yen? Anyways, hi.
He's like, hi.
So we have a really special episode today because...
Not that all our episodes aren't special.
Yes, all of our episodes are special. But today, aside from the fact that we have a guest on for the first time, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. We're not prepared for this at all. We're just going to kind of go off on a bunch of random bullshit. And I have some...
So like every other episode.
It's pretty much like every other episode where I'm
We just
prepared.
have another person to bullshit with now.
Yeah. Basically, I'm prepared, and then we go off on tangents for 45 minutes.
He nods.
And then we talk...
Yes,
you guys do.
And then TJ repetitively adjusts his microphone.
Yes, because I'm already have adjusted my microphone about 7 or 8 times. Especially as I was.
You're like a
Gene
really
Simmons.
bad pro wrestler that keeps adjusting his gear every time he gets suplexed.
Kick, punch, pants fall down. I am the Luke Gallows of the podcasting world. But we wanted to do this because it is our first kind of quote unquote milestone here on Two Guys at a Game, as we are in episode 10, which is very exciting. And I just wanted to personally say quickly, thank you to everybody for all the support and love and kind words for this podcast. It's been a really fun journey for Caz and I. I'm sure Caz.
But
you
this is
agree.
our last podcast.
Yeah, this is it. We're done. We're starting
This
to
isn't
get
just a milestone; it's also a gravestone.
here lies Two Guys in a Game.
Just kidding. We're just getting started here.
We are
folks.
just getting
We
started.
haven't even. We haven't.
barely
We're just getting
knew ye.
warmed up. Isn't that? Isn't that
Just getting warmed
just getting
up.
warmed up?
The clips are.
Oh God.
Two guys in a game. We barely knew ye.
But we. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You remember me from such films as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Andre the Giant. We hardly knew ye. I couldn't think of another movie that was from The Simpsons.
You need to project more, that Troy. Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
Hi, I'm Troy
There you go.
McClure.
Hi, I'm Lionel Hutz. And what we could do for you here today, Mrs. Simpson, is I can't.
No,
his voice is so unique.
Phil
You
Hartman
could-
is ridiculous.
Phil
Yeah,
Hartman
he
just
is
had
really
such a good
ridiculous.
voice, man.
Dan Harmon?
Dan Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. Yeah, his wife.
You mean
killed him.
Dr. Hartman?
Oh, depressing.
Mark Harmon, NCIS.
Oh, Dan Harmon, Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys talk about video games usually, or
So yeah, sometimes we talk about video games on this podcast. It's really rare, but no. But seriously,
Personally, we just prefer the air.
we just prefer to the air and to talk about what the hell we feel like it. Sometimes we swear a lot, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we talk about video games, and sometimes we talk about Rick and Morty and Yusei and Jack, and sometimes we talk about other bullshit.
And
But
sometimes they talk about Nintendo.
yeah. Oh, okay. So we usually have a couple things to talk about here first, which I guess we'll get into before we get into the kind of one of the main things we're going to talk about here today. Because Brandon has a
You
bone
guys
to pick
lean
with
so
us.
hard on the Nintendo side of games.
We do because Nintendo is the superior video gaming company.
Yeah, and in the gaming wars, I mean, Nintendo would win.
Nintendo's ahead right now, but come on, Sony's right there.
Yeah, no, they are. I
Sony's
agree.
right there.
Sony is equal to that. It's Microsoft that's just like
Sony's
Microsoft
climbing up the butthole of Nintendo. slowly.
Microsoft's the Eric Cartman of the gaming wars right now.
Come on, guys. Hold on. Come on.
Cal, you're such a freaking Jew. Shut up, Microsoft.
Shut up, Microsoft.
Sony, and
Why is Microsoft dropping the ball so hard?
I don't know.
they're just, like it pisses me off because it's me and my friend were having a discussion about it a couple weeks ago where we were talking about how Sony.
You have
is
another friend
literally-
other than me?
Yeah, I have other friends in my life,
don't.
and like Sony has literally gone like, okay, what should we do differently with gaming this year in 2018? And they're like, well, let's fuck multiplayer. Let's just make a bunch of single player games because everybody's a shut in anyways, and we're just gonna do a bunch of single player games, and that's all they're doing. Their whole lineup is like single player. So they're gonna get a lot of gamers who like me. I'm already on board for getting a PS4 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Microsoft's all like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and that's all.
That's really all
That's-
they. That's
that's
all
I
they
feel
all
like
we have.
the trend now isn't multiplayer anymore. Online multiplayer is like there's a couple of games, but other than that,
Yeah,
Like there's games like an Overwatch, which I know you play a lot.
yeah, I love Overwatch.
Which we're gonna get into what we're playing right now and everything.
All
But I really do agree that Microsoft is they're just I don't know what they can do to solve this
they can make
issue,
Halo 6,
which will totally solve the
which will solve the issue. Just make Halo 6. There you
Well,
go.
okay, contrast Nintendo to Microsoft right now.
Okay.
Nintendo goes forward with all these like crazy things they want to do, like the Switch. When anybody first saw the Switch, most people they're like,
I was skeptical.
yeah.
But it's
I think
awesome.
a lot of
You
people
were
were skeptical.
septile. You were
I was
septile.
septile.
were
I was erectile.
I think a lot of people were skeptical when they first saw the Switch, just because I didn't understand what it was.
Well, it's a
So I'm like,
video
okay,
console.
so it's a handheld, but you put it in a thing and now it's on your TV. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly?
That kind of threw me through a loop, but I always I predicted that's where they were going because they had to integrate it eventually. The 3DS was their biggest selling point for
Yeah.
like a bunch of years, and the Wii U just flopped. The Wii flopped before that, and it was just like This is
I would
now
say
their
the
way-
Wii. No, it flopped.
Yeah, they just wasn't enough. Like they were good consoles. They had the right builds. They just didn't have any content. Like gaming wise, like you had like everybody has 6 games for the Wii and then 6 games for the Wii U, and that was it. Right?
I agree. Like aside from like I'm trying to think of like what were like some really good solid games for the Wii. Like there wasn't a lot of like really.
There
solid,
was Twilight Princess,
which was technically Wii
Skyward
U.
Sword.
Wii U as well.
No, Skyward Sword wasn't Wii U. Skyward
Sword was just the Wii. I think it was the Wii. And
I thought it was
Wii U.
Wii U.
No,
It was
because
its main
it was
release.
only playable on the Wii. You needed the motion controls for that game. And Twilight Princess was Wii.
Yeah, it was Wii. Yes, I misspoke. Yeah,
It was
Wii.
GameCube, Wii,
I played
and
it on the
Wii U
GameCube, but it was Wii
remastered,
mainly.
which is like amazing.
I feel like the number one problem with the Wii was the motion control was so like it worked quite well, but
Yeah.
some of the games that they were releasing, like I think it was Red Steel, was it?
Yeah, Red Steel. Yeah.
Like where you're like it's like the game with the sword and you have your gun or whatever. And like
Yeah.
it didn't work.
And did you notice when the Wii came out, Sony and Microsoft really noticed
Yeah.
because who was right there with the Kinect and who was right there with the Move?
Yeah.
Even though
And
they
the
didn't
Kinect
both
work.
came
stole the
out with
show. The Kinect literally is probably the most advanced motion control because they don't just use Kinect for gaming; they use it for other things too,
Yeah.
like motion capture.
Like watching you while you sleep.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I unplugged it and threw it in the cupboard so I don't use my Kinect on my Xbox One. I'm like, nope.
So it doesn't
Bye.
watch you when you sleep.
Seeing how the most Kinect games work, I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Kinect fan. I'm not an Xbox fan.
Yeah, no, I'm not really either. Like, I'm a fan of the original Xbox. That was an incredible console.
Yeah.
There's some
I
amazing
only have an
games on
Xbox 360, and I just bought it like 3 months ago.
The 360 was awesome. I love the 360. Like I still have mine. It's like a classic elite 360, and that one was great. When I got that, I played it forever, and lots of good games on it too. And I don't mind the Xbox One. Like don't get me wrong. Like for a next gen console, I didn't pick it. It was just bought. Like my dad just went out and bought it for the family and everything. And Xbox One runs pretty smoothly. The only problem I'd say with the Xbox is storage space. When they like, I can only have like 5 games stored on my Xbox now, and then I have to
Yeah.
delete them and reinstall them, and that kind of ticks me off.
That's a problem with a lot of systems now.
Yeah,
Except for the PS4, I find.
and the Nintendo
depends how
Switch.
much memory you have.
Yeah.
Nintendo
If you buy the
Switch-
500 gigabyte,
Which I have.
if you buy the 500 gigabyte, you will run out of space.
yeah,
Because some games are just like almost 100 gigabytes by themselves. Like,
like Battlefront 2 is like 50 gigs.
yeah,
Oh, wow. See, yeah.
Grand Theft
not
Auto,
including
Grand Theft Auto
upgrades.
5 is like 60.
Yeah, and had the Halo Master Chief Collection on my console is like 50 gigs, and then Halo 5 is like 70 gigs, and I'm like, what? So I can get 4 games, or I can get 5 games on one for 50 gigs, and then the next game in the series is
5
like
games on
80
an
gigs.
Xbox?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dead horse has been beaten. No, but like, what does, because we're on this topic, like, what?
But I noticed Microsoft's just trying to keep up now.
Yeah,
like,
they're
what do
just-
they need to do to get ahead? Like, do they need to
They need to be
release-
innovative. They need to do what Nintendo does, and they need to look forward. Like I heard you guys on the last episode were talking about the Labo, and how
Or
okay,
the cardboard
Nintendo
box.
just had Nintendo had a lot of they had that backlog on the Switches, right?
Yeah.
And they had all that cardboard that they had, they shipped all the stuff in cardboard. It's like, well, we have a lot of extra cardboard from all the Switch stuff we had to get. So let's make a game out of that now.
Yeah.
So, how like probably cost effective it was?
Oh, I bet. Can you imagine the markup on that? Probably like literally like 87%.
It's probably heavy duty cardboard. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
it is. Just and they're selling it for what, $60? No, I think it's like
The one was $69.99 for the one I
yeah,
saw.
and the
got
one's like
different kits,
and there's a
right?
robot kit too. That's like
The robot
$90 or $100
kits,
or something
yeah.
like that. Like it's
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. What do you think of it?
when was the last time Xbox was innovative? Kinect wasn't innovative because they were just kind of being like, oh crap, the Wii came out, we had to do something motion.
Yeah,
they
they just
released the
improved
first Halo?
motion controls, huh?
When
When
they
they
released
released
the first
Combat
Halo.
Evolve, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first innovative game they made.
I don't know when they made Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. No, I'm just joking.
No, we don't talk about that here. That's the game.
No, we don't speak of the Banjo game that killed Banjo.
That killed the fucking series.
Killed Rare. You literally killed Rare, Microsoft. Way to go. Well, I say that, but Rare's back, so
I think the problem with Xbox too is they release too many games that are bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the gaming crash in 1983, the problem there was a whole bunch too many consoles, too many games, and too many shit games. that
Really
were coming
bad.
out.
Like E.T.
yeah,
game that literally caused the
yeah,
gaming
gaming crash. I think Xbox. I don't know if their quality control's on point, But like, there's a lot of bad Xbox games.
Oh, there's
whether it's for the
tons,
360, whether it's for the Xbox One and all that. There's a lot
The
of.
360 had like
The 360 had too many games.
when I did this is a while ago, but I did a top 10 list with Matt on the Hodder show of top 10 Xbox 360 games, and I was like, dude, like I literally cannot pick 10 games. Like this is just they had like I think it was like over like 300 games or more for the Xbox 360, and I had a hard time picking 10 that were good.
Yeah.
Enough that I thought to be on the list.
Like, there's a lot of good games for the Xbox 360. We have a lot of games. There's gonna be a lot of good games, but there's also gonna be a lot of filler.
There's so
always
much
filler in those. Yeah, I found that with the PS3 as well. Like lots of good games, but lots of filler as well. Like,
But now look at this Nintendo Switch. Every game that comes out on the Nintendo Switch is a big deal.
yeah,
Like anything from ARMS all the way to the freaking Mario and their Rabbids.
yeah.
Like every game's a big deal on the Switch.
Yeah.
Even games that are coming over onto the Switch.
Skyrim.
Skyrim's coming over to the
Skyrim's
Switch.
a
How big of a deal is
huge
that?
Deal. It's so
Grand
like,
Theft Auto's coming over to the Switch.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is that?
and it's all just because it's portable now. Like that's
Exactly.
that's the huge thing, right? And the thing with Microsoft, why they fall behind is they don't have any original content really. They have like maybe 3 things that are original to them, and they don't utilize it properly anymore.
No, they're just looking at those. They're looking at those big AAA releases, and they're being like, "Okay, well, we need that on ours too." You know, like their biggest release of this year for Xbox. What is it going to be? Red Dead 2.
Yeah, maybe
Probably.
if they announce Halo 6, it'll probably be.
And you know how I'd be really worried that if I found out that Nintendo gets the rights to put Red Dead 2 on the Switch,
boy, yeah,
Oh, they're screwed.
you're screwed.
yeah.
You know what? Actually, because I'm trying to think like
Because
what.
at least right now, like I remember Boxing Day, the Xbox One, I think it was the Xbox One S, was on for $250.
Yeah.
And so if I'm a guy who wants to play Red Dead 2 and I don't have a PS3, right? And I have to upgrade to a PS4 or a Xbox One, I'm going to go with the cheaper alternative probably because I just want to play that one game. But then if I find out but if it comes out on the Switch, you just lost a lot of those people still.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be tough if the Switch gets a hold of Red Dead 2.
If they any
Because that's
games
probably the
that
biggest
come out-
release of the year.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, and any games that come out like that can be ported over the Switch, people are going to want to go for that because it's easier in my head. Any game like they brought out LA Noire for the Switch, right?
Yep.
And that's like that game. I had no interest in that game when it came out on the Xbox 360. I was just like, no. But now I'm like, well, now that I can kind of take it with me and walk around and like go places, and that's my whole big thing right now. And even Stardew Valley. I'm not going to talk about it for like ever.
An hour.
I'm not going to talk about it. I just Stardew Valley
Call back.
I played it on my TV for the first time. Like the other night, I just decided to drop the Switch into its port and play it, and it's so much fun playing it on the TV. But it's nothing compared to just picking it up and walking around your house with this whole like RPG. It's the same with Zelda. Like even having that and just the freedom to walk around and be like, yeah, I'm just playing Zelda on a bus. Or
Well, between listening to your guys' episode on Zelda and watching the Completionist on YouTube talk about Breath of the Wild, I've already been looking to buy a Switch just to play Breath of the Wild.
yeah,
One literally last week, as you guys heard, Brandon was playing a Switch for the first time.
Yeah.
And
First or second time. I think I played another one before too, but that was the longest I've sat down and actually played one.
Yeah. And now you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a Switch.
oh man, yeah.
I was literally shopping for one
Yeah,
afterwards.
Literally afterwards, you were like, yeah, I'm already looking for a Switch.
I'm online looking for a good deal. If I can pick one up for like $300, I'm happy.
That's a pretty good price for one.
Even if it's a slightly used, I don't care.
Oh, for sure. But something that speaking of Xbox and what can Xbox do to kind of get out of this rut, or Microsoft, excuse me. Something that I think is they need like a really good single player release that is a big deal and is exclusive to Xbox.
And that EA makes, right? That EA. No, I'm just joking.
Not that EA makes. Nothing with DLC. And there's only one game that comes to mind. There's only one franchise that comes to mind.
Halo.
No, not Halo, actually. Because I feel like
What if they rebooted Halo?
They should reboot Halo.
They
What
should.
if they rebooted? Okay, what if you rebooted something like Halo, but kind of took the model of like a Skyrim,
and like made it open.
made it
open
a
world
huge
Halo.
open world game where like it's a single player experience?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd play the shit out. I'd buy an Xbox to play that.
No, I think I know what game series you're gonna say though. Would it be Fable?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's Microsoft.
Because-
and they do own that.
Fable 1
Oh yeah.
was incredible. Fable 2,
yeah.
Fable 3, so like to the point where I didn't even play. I played Fable 2, a couple hours of Fable 2, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Why are there guns? Why this isn't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
like
I
that.
get it, but I'm like, they kind of got away from what.
Guns and superheroes don't mix.
No. But
Well, it seems like their problem right now is being like, okay, what is everybody else doing? Let's copy it.
Yeah. Whereas they need to. I think they need to take a risk. Like, okay, or if they say they don't want to reboot Halo, right? Because they want to release Halo 5 and it's going to be this massive MMORPG online world, whatever the fuck it is, right? But if they go,
it's too saturated though right now. There's too many games out there that are MMOs that are like, capture the flag or capture the objective.
Look at World War
II.
Look what happened with that.
Yeah,
they released it and like people were so excited because we're going back to World War II and
it doesn't matter. But even if big World War II thing, but it's out for PlayStation 2. You're only getting 50% of the market share. And the way PlayStation's going right now, you're not even getting 50% of the market share because PlayStation 4 is kicking your ass.
Yeah, PlayStation 4 is
you're
far
getting maybe
superior to the Xbox
30% of your market share because Call of Duty World War II.
Who cares?
No.
Yeah. And it's just like, and with Halo is they've gone the wrong direction with it, where they've made it too much like Call of Duty, and that's the main reason why nobody wants to play Halo anymore. Is
like Halo Reach was pretty cool.
Halo Reach was their last good game because that was when Bungie left, right? Bungie left, and Halo 4 wasn't bad. I won't say Halo 4 was bad. Like I enjoyed Halo 4, but it just became too Call of Duty. By the time they got to Halo 5, I remember playing the beta for it, and I was just like, oh, what have you guys done? They added aiming down sights. They added they changed all the buttons around. So you can still change your controls, but the way that their main setup was, it was just Call of Duty.
You can tweak your controls, but when it's a game that has that many games, you can't go and completely remaster them. It's because your players are gonna be pissed off at you now.
Exactly. And I just remember all the mechanics they threw into it, like sliding on the ground and all this other bullshit.
Why do I have to jump with left bumper?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it just became Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. It's like they literally took the model for Advanced Warfare and and there's another series, Gears of War. They could totally fix it. Like they could.
Wouldn't take much.
Yeah. You don't
It had an incredible story.
Yeah. 1 through 3, I was fine with. I loved Gears of War 2. I played Gears of War 2 nonstop. And then I didn't play Gears 1 before that. And then I went and got Gears 1 and I just loved the shit out of the story. It was good.
That's what people want, though. They want a good story now.
Yeah.
People are over the whole online multiplayer shit. They don't really care as much about that anymore.
You have your demographic for that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But you need to cater now. Again, you have to go back to the Switch right now because they can't even freaking make enough Switches right now. It's selling so well. How many online MMOs are on the Nintendo Switch?
1. Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's not even a bad one. That's a fun, laid-back MMO. It's not as competitive. It can be. I know it can get competitive, but that's it. You got... And then Mario Kart 8 would be the next one. That's it. Literally.
Exactly.
You've got 2 big online games that you would play.
But with Mario Kart, you're going to sell Mario Kart, whether it's an MMO, whether it's a single player, or, that game's going to sell no matter what.
Exactly. It's Mario Kart.
Exactly. But Xbox doesn't have those titles they can rely on now, where Nintendo has Nintendo has, 2 or 3 titles now. It's okay, we need to make some money. Mm-hmm. Here comes the Mario games. Here comes the Pokemon games.
And they're porting a bunch of stuff that. When I was talking about it last week, the Nintendo Direct, they've got a Kirby game coming out now, and that's it's awesome. It looks great. It's gonna be a perfect Kirby game. It reminds me of Kirby and Dream or the Crystal Shards for 64.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like, and that's what I want to see. Nintendo needs to go back and start doing it, and they did it with Odyssey, where they brought Mario 64 controls back. All the controls are like that, and it feels really fun. And actually, even the added controls with the hat, where I was kind of I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It works, and Nintendo's kind of they need to go back to their basics with the N64 and even GameCube, and kind of go, okay, here you go, guys.
And they're doing that, but they're straddling that line nicely, where it's
Yes.
they're progressing, they're being progressive still. But they're also they're catering to that fan service.
They're bringing out Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze from the Wii U. They're porting that over. There's a bunch of games they're just bringing over from the Wii U, and they're just here you go, guys. And I'll get Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because it's portable. Anything that's portable is just better.
Nintendo is the fan service brand right now. If the fans have asked for it, Nintendo's dishing it out to them. Where PlayStation more is kind of they're giving their fans stuff that they didn't even know they wanted.
Yeah.
The VR. I'll give PlayStation credit for being the first to really dive into the VR.
VR is incredible for that. I've tried it out, and I was just
you know what?
Whoa.
They didn't send out the VR because the VR was a little buggy with the regular PS4. They put out the PS4 Pro, and that thing works perfectly with it now. And they fixed that right away. It's not like the Kinect where, the Kinect was shit and Xbox never fixed it.
Never worked.
No, yeah.
The PS4 said, okay, you know what, the VR is good, but it can be a little, buggy on the PS4. I don't think it was buggy. It was more like the software wasn't enough in the PS4 to run that VR.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, we need to make a higher powered thing for this. And again, they did that. They made the PS4 Pro, and Xbox was like, okay, we'll make the Xbox One X. So we can run games in 4K. Sorry, nobody cares.
Nobody cares about
Xbox
resolution.
One.
You can only go so far.
I'm not going to buy your Xbox One at $250. I'm not going to buy one that plays 4K games for $500. Get your head out of your ass, Microsoft, and freaking give us something that we can use.
Figure it out. Like they just need to. I think that's all they need to do. It's just they need to come with a good game.
Are you a video game fan that doesn't like Sony? Well, then buy an Xbox. That's their sales pitch at that point.
Yeah. Do you hate Sony? I refuse.
Do you hate Sony and Nintendo?
Do you want a new Xbox console that's slightly modified? Well, come to E3 this year and we'll have one for you. The new Xbox X3. And next year, guess what? We're going to release the X4 and X5 alongside each other.
What's
this
the
is
next
an
Xbox
iPhone,
console going to be called?
The Xbox fucked.
It's going to be called the Xbox 2.
They can start from one now.
It's like we went
The
from
Xbox
360 to one, and now we're just gonna pick another random number here. Let's do Xbox 539.
Xbox 7.4.
I hope they just call it the Xbox X.
I feel like they will.
The Xbox X.
The Xbox X.
Maybe they'll call it the Y box. That'd be nice.
They just changed the brand
Y.
altogether.
Just like Y box.
You know what?
Y.
Rebranding might not be their baddest idea right now. Their worst idea right now.
No.
Baddest.
Yeah. I don't
See,
know.
Microsoft lacks one thing too. That even Sony is willing to take the risks on it, and Nintendo's willing. Nintendo does it perfectly, and they're the king of it. I keep talking about it, but like portability, Microsoft never goes portable. They never ever have risked it or anything. And if they
Sony
did,
tried it and they were like, meh.
yeah, PSP wasn't bad. I thought PSP was okay. Vita was like,
I think the Vita's probably one of the more underrated systems.
Yeah.
I think the
Decent
Vita's
system.
really cool.
it is a cool system. It just didn't get enough support, right? So they released it and they were like, yeah, well, here you go. Here's 4 games and enjoy. And then you're like, that's it. Like,
Because I know some people now that actually collect for Vita. They
Yeah.
actually collect Vita games. It's like,
well, the Vita was a great idea, and it just needed support. Like if they were to relaunch it today and Sony was like, we're going to put Spider-Man on there, we're going to put Last of Us on there, we're going to put a bunch of games, and people would be like, so...
But by the time the PSP came out, they were so late to the party for portable because
Yeah,
Nintendo
they
had
were,
it.
yeah.
Nintendo
Nintendo had the
you can go
monopoly on
ahead,
it,
but
yeah.
Why
Fuck you.
bother? Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty sure we got this down.
Pretty sure. Have you ever?
Because by the time the PSP came out, what was the? Were we on the
3DS,
it would have been
I'm pretty
DSIs, I think.
DSIs? Yeah, DSi came out, and then the PSP was around. But you're so late to the party by that point because Nintendo's already cemented themselves as
They've
the
already
portable
been
game
dominating
system.
that for years.
They own it, right? And that's why it's like the smart way to go with their home console was like, I predicted it before they even announced the Switch. Like last year, I was like, that's what their next console has to be. It has to be the Wii U gamepad, literally, and you can just take it with
But
you.
the gamepad has
whenever.
to be the system.
Yeah, and you can just take it with you, and that way they don't have to make 3DSs anymore, and everybody can just play on these consoles. It'll be more powerful, and we can just have Pokemon, Nintendo, Pokemon. Let's go. Let's make it for the Switch.
make it
Let's
happen.
Get it out. Come on.
And there's a powerful freaking computer they have in that
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like when we were gonna do this podcast, you were kind of joking about saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna come on there with you Nintendo fanboys, and we're gonna."
You guys are Nintendo fanboys,
But, like-
you guys are hardcore. I just started.
Yeah.
I became a big fan of Nintendo probably a couple years ago.
oh, okay.
I
See,
grew up.
whereas we've been lifelong Nintendo guys.
Yeah.
The first Nintendo system I had was GameCube,
Okay. Yeah.
and that was my home system for a while. Like that's the only thing I would use. But before that, it was my PlayStation.
Yeah, because you had your PS2. When
I
I
had my PlayStation, my PS2. I've never missed a PlayStation. I've had every single PlayStation, and so where you guys grew up on the N64 stuff, I grew up on the Spyro the Dragon, the Crash Bandicoot. You know the
I'm sorry to hear that.
every NHL game there ever
There's
was
two
on the
types of gamers in
PlayStation.
this world: Nintendo gamers and really bad gamers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a very good gamer.
No, but kind of talking systems and that and talking about the console war and everything, I think it'd be interesting because out of everyone that I have in my life, you actually have the most game systems.
I don't even know how many I have now. I have
This
over.
more what I'm going to ask is run through your game system because this isn't an interview per se. We're kind of just going to talk about a whole bunch of shit. But
Well, from oldest to new, I have the NES.
yep,
I never was able to find. I want to find a Super Nintendo, but I don't want to go with the mini yet. I want to actually find an old Super Nintendo to buy. I got the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox 360. I have a Wii, an N64, the classic NES, a Sega Genesis, a Sega Master System. I think that's about it. I don't have the Sega
Xbox
Master
360.
System. Yeah, I have the 360.
You don't
need
have a one,
ColecoVision.
though.
Vision.
Not yet.
Eventually.
Working on that in the Commodore.
The Commodore. Oh, jeez.
And a
An Atari 5200. No,
Oh man.
So
2600 was overrated.
what caused you to want to like? Because like we were talking the one day, and you're just like, I'm gonna start collecting a bunch of systems.
I think it's just really cool to have all these systems.
Yeah.
And not even be able to play. I don't have enough time to play them all the time, but I think it's just kind of cool to have all these systems hanging around.
Heck yeah. One day you get to set them up in a glass box and label them in like a museum.
I want to have like a nice, like really nice like shelf with like LED strips, lighting, and all that, and like completely like plexiglass shelf with all the LED lighting in every system in its own little space.
Yeah, man.
I just don't want to I hate dealing with all the wiring.
Yeah.
Like right now, I have my PS4, my PS3 when it's down here, and my Xbox 360 all running through an HDMI splitter, so I don't have to worry about all plugging them all into the TV.
Okay.
I actually went out and bought a $40 splitter just so I didn't have to worry about plugging all of them into the TV.
Yeah, that's the issue, right?
It's a pain in the ass. That's my
17
problem.
consoles and only 2 ports to hook
And
into
then the next thing I want to buy for the AV cables for all the rest of them, because the rest of them are older. I want to buy an AV splitter, so I only have to plug the AVs in once.
Yeah.
Because that gets annoying when you have to change. Oh, I want to play my PlayStation, or not my PlayStation. I want to play my my GameCube now, but I have to unplug my N64 and plug it in.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
Although I can do that for the back, but other systems, it's like it's annoying.
Well, that's why I just have the one AV in, and then I put them in my N64 or my GameCube.
Yeah.
When Caz comes over and we want to play some Melee, I switch over if I want to play some Alien Chronicles.
I don't remember how the PlayStation. I think the PlayStation plugs in through like the what's that port called?
I don't even remember.
It's like the old port. It's like the auxiliary.
I thought it
port
was
of
an
the
AV.
That's like the one that the N64 used to use too, right? N64 didn't use AV cables. Like you can, just because of the GameCube, that port, they use the same one, so you got lucky with it.
Well, eventually what I want to do is I want to upgrade my systems to be HD.
Yeah.
So you can get like the video, the upscalers, and you can actually get your N64 modded
Oh, really?
to like play in like 1080p.
See, I'd never do that.
It's a $400 upgrade to do it, but you can actually get your Nintendo modded where it'll actually play HD graphics on the television. It's
Interesting.
I would love to see Alien Chronicles with HD graphics. It probably look worse.
Of course you would.
Probably look worse.
the first made.
Alien Chronicles the first man.
Yeah,
taught me how to read.
Alien Chronicles. It taught TJ how to count.
It taught me how to
right.
count, actually.
Taught you how to do math, and then Majora's Mask taught you how to love.
Some people were homeschooled. TJ was video game schooled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoutouts to my homeschooling.
Shoutouts to Caz's homeschool.
Were you actually homeschooled?
Yes, I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never talked about that here on the podcast. But yeah, Zach was homeschooled.
Yeah, I was homeschooled from when I was 12 and up. My parents got sick and tired of school, so my mom and dad just pulled us out. And,
Really?
yeah, and all of my siblings have been homeschooled since. So
Wow.
yeah.
So okay, I want to quickly hear a little more about this. Like, how does that work?
So
Just teach you whatever you want?
pretty
Or
much
do they actually have to follow
we
like a
just
set of
went
like
out
steps?
all the time. We would like literally just go out and do whatever kind of thing. Like it would still be educational. Like go to the science center, Ontario
Yeah.
Science Center. Go to the zoo. Go to or whatever. Or then like for the first couple of years we were kind of like still in school mode where we'd get like my mom would print out like schoolwork from like the Kawartha
Oh,
school
okay.
boards and like we would just do it and everything. But then after a while it was just like she started reading more books on it, and the better way to like teach your kids is like just let them kind of find their own path in
Yeah.
life and just like unschool them, because schooling like puts you into a mentality where you have to do this and and like you got to follow the rules and
You have
they
to
kinda-
learn. You have to learn what's that fucking math called? The X and solve for X and Y and all that
Algebra?
shit. Yeah. Who the fuck's you don't? I am 26 years old. Okay, and not once in my entire life since high schole have I used algebra.
I understand. I understand how algebra. I like math, so it's like
Yeah,
algebra.
yeah,
I understand
exactly.
how I can use algebra in my like in my life, because like okay, I have like two things I need to here's what I have, and I have to find a way to this solution sort of thing. So it's actually like you can kind of use it without the numbers.
See, I just
In a
find
way.
that's just problem solving though.
yeah
That's what math is. It's
Yeah,
problem
okay, I
solving,
got you.
right?
Okay, I got you.
yeah
Wait, wait, wait.
That's why they call them math problems.
and like
You know
yeah
what?
so yeah no like but math is I mean, like I like algebra too. Like I just took it in college level algebra and calculus almost. Like
Yeah, I
got into calculus and I like it. Like
I took
enjoyed
calculus and I loved it.
it. Yeah, it's not anything like I never understood why people were like, oh, I hate algebra, and because for me, I just was like, I could whip through it. Like I could always solve for x.
See, I'm
It's easy.
stupid, so I couldn't.
If y equals this, you can solve for x. It's
See,
pretty
my
simple.
thing is if I'm around something enough, I'll learn about it no matter what because I'm around it enough. So, I didn't know how to cook before I worked at Wendy's, but then I worked at Wendy's, I learned how to cook. I
bought
started
a deep
working
fryer,
in kitchens.
You were like, yeah, let's make some fries.
yeah, like I learned how to cook through working at Wendy's and then working at restaurants afterwards. And then, I went to school for audio and, I still didn't understand it when I left. And then I started working in it and you kind of fake it till you make it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's what schooling is too, and that's like
I'm
that's
still figuring out audio.
And now you're an award-winning podcaster.
an award-winning,
and
and you're on an award-winning podcast right now.
Yes.
Yes,
So-
we won the Woody Award. For,
We won the You Say Award. Horse is now
use horse.
the horses.
The horse is so dead.
Cleanup crew for the horse has already come and gone.
We just hit it again.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but
You
for
guys are
home
beating the glue out of this horse.
for homeschooling, anyways, it taught me how to be free, like as a person, and
It's
like
a very
more innovative.
free thinking. That's what I like about you.
And my whole family is very much like that. Like my little brother's probably got the best of it, where he's just like he comes up with the most crazy stuff. Where you're like, wow, that's like no, I would have never thought of that. And my sister, my younger sister, she's very much the same way too. She's like, they're swimmers and they go their swim meets and everything, but when they're at home, they're just so like they're free thinkers. They're not bound down by rules and they're so unique as people. And it really like. Not saying that people who go to school aren't unique and individuals, huh?
I am. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like I'm just saying, you get a different outlook on life, and it really like changes your perspective. Like not being in school was so nice, and then having to go to college was miserable for me. Like I hated sitting in classrooms again, and I hated it. And they were all like, they're like, oh yeah, everyone else there was just like, oh yeah, I'm used to it. I went to school, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've been to school in like 10 years, and it fucking sucks. I'm just like sitting in these classrooms, listening to these teachers drone on, and then they're wondering why I'm getting bad marks. I'm like, I'm getting bad marks because you're teaching me something, and I hate it. But if I go and read this book, I'm actually writing the information down myself.
Yeah.
And then they're still saying, well, that's not what I would do. And that was where my struggle was in school. It wasn't that I was wrong. It wasn't right to them. And I hate that because it makes me look like I'm a dumbass, but I'm not. I'm not stupid, So
That'd be interesting. I mean, after like I took 2 years off after high school to go
I'd taken 7.
to college, and I didn't feel that way even after 2 years. So I can only I actually did kind of feel that way after 2 years. Is what I meant to say, but I can imagine after 10.
yeah, it's painful, like going back into a school setting because you just feel like you're locked up. And there were days where I just get out of bed and be like, "Fuck this, I'm not going. Like I can't do it."
At least in
today."
college, you had that choice.
Yeah, at least you do, right? Like,
Yeah, you don't. They don't call home and be like, "Yeah, Zach didn't show up to school today."
can you imagine? Oh, jeez. Yeah.
You bitch.
Hey, I paid $10,000 to be here. I'll show up if I want.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's my
It's just
saga of
interesting. Yeah,
homeschooling.
We've never discussed it here on the podcast, but yeah, it's
That's why I'm so
learning
good at
everything.
podcasting. I'm actually just good at everything I do.
That's what the homeschooling was. It was just podcast training. Even before podcasts were a thing, it was just podcast.
No, my
training.
dad trained me on podcasting because he let me sit in front of Family Guy when I was 8 years old and watch Family Guy. I didn't even know my mom
That's
was
where you
against
actually
it.
learned everything.
And not to mention my dad quotes movies and like he knows all the good movies, so that's where I have all my pop culture references. It's from
the
him.
hundreds and hundreds of pop culture references.
Yeah, and then I'm over here. I've watched like 12 movies in my life.
I'm over here. I've watched 5, and I just
You
quote
probably watch
Family
more
Guy.
movies.
What was
than
the
I
just
have.
quoted Family
one
Guy.
movie with Robin Williams in it that they're trying to give to Peter, and he's just like, no, if it even touches this
Roadhouse,
movie,
I will.
I will. Yeah, and then it's just like maybe far away,
Or maybe real nearby. Why are you doing it with me? God damn it! Thought we were gonna do a duet.
Well,
I thought you guys were,
I
but-
forgot the words. That's why. So.
Maybe straightening his jacket.
She'll be
Straightening
fixing
his
his tie.
Ah,
That's so good. They're all. It's just terrible movies on the shelf.
Okay, guys, so we're going to take a quick second to give a much needed shout out to our good friend, Mr. Jason Reese from Jaybird Digital Arts. Whether you guys need t-shirts, logos, business cards, phone manipulation, custom art, anything like that, Jason is your guy.
You've seen our logo. You've seen how awesome it is. Hit him up today by going to www.jaybirddigitalarts.com. That is JAYBIRD Digital Arts. jaybirddigital.com. Go there right now.
Right now, guys. Just pause the podcast. Go do
Jaybird
it.
Digital Arts.
Digital Arts.
So anyway, here on Two Guys in the Game, once in a while, we talk about what games we've been playing this week.
I've been playing the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Okay.
How's that?
I didn't play the first one. When I was a kid, I didn't play the first one. I played the second and third one. I hate the first one. It's so freaking hard.
Is that the one that I see? Is it 2-dimensional still? Like, is it like the side scrolling?
It's not side scrolling. It's like top down scrolling kind of.
It's kind of like
Crash Bandicoot's is a unique game to try.
third
and explain.
person.
It's okay. So it is. It's a third person one. Okay.
Platformer.
That's what I wasn't sure because it must have been. There's one I always see.
I guess every platform is a third person. It's more like behind point of view.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about then.
And then sometimes it's head on.
Okay.
Because if you're running away, they have stages where you're running away from stuff.
From like boulders and
okay, boulders. You're running away from dinosaurs and
you miss your jumps because of it.
Oh my god, the jumping. So you have to be so precise in that game.
Oh.
Like I was trying to teach Amanda how to do it last night, and she kept on like instead of holding the X button while going whichever way you're going, she would just let go and just kind of jump and then move forward. I'm like, you can't just tap it and move forward. You're not going to make it. I'm like, you need to be completely precise with these jumps.
It's hard.
It's like
It
Temple
really
Run
is.
Classic, man. That's where Temple Run got its idea from. I guarantee you.
Not actually. That's pretty close, actually.
Yeah.
It's literally you're running forward and like collecting
Jumping
stuff, which
over
is
stuff
basically
and
Crash
collecting,
Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. But I'm playing that, and that has the first, second, and third. So I just started the third last night because that was the game I really sunk a lot of hours into as a kid. So I'm looking to complete 3, like 100 and... you can complete them past 100%.
Yeah.
Because there's time trials you can do in it. And they have 3 tiers of time trials. You can get the time relic, which is blue, or you can get the golden time relic, or the platinum one, depending on what your time is. And like the platinum one is the developer time.
Oh wow.
And so if you get all those, you end up like 110 or 112% complete the game. So I'm going to get 112 complete the game for Crash 3. But the difference is the first and second were really hard. They made them difficult, those games. But now, originally in the games, they didn't have the time trials. Now they have the time trials in them. And you can do the same thing, but they're so hard. They are so hard. Those levels, some of the levels on those games are hard to get through slowly, much less quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not looking forward to doing the time trials on the first 2, but I'm going to try and do the whole thing. Ooh. And then before that, I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
Just starting that.
That's a good one.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's kind of like, I think it's Sony's answer to Breath of the Wild in a way.
Oh, okay.
Because it's kind of like the same thing, but it's actually a female lead character, which is kind of cool.
Boo.
Disqualified.
No, just kidding.
It's a female lead character.
We love
who
females
is-
here on Two Guys in the Game.
I can't remember what her name
Yes,
is now.
we are all
Alloy.
heterosexual males.
Alloy is her name.
I'm
Aloy?
sexual.
But it's weird because it's like set in like it's
Heterosexual
set like back in
man.
like it's set back in like it seems like it's set back in like
Back in the day. Medieval.
back in the dinosaur era almost.
Oh, okay. So it's like Ark Survival.
It is,
sort of
but
ish?
instead of like there's like dinosaurs, but they're all mechanical.
Oh, that's
It's like a merge between time periods.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like its own little universe in a way. So and you're
Very
going out and you
unique.
have to collect your supplies, and it's kind of like Far Cry Primal with robots.
Okay.
That's probably a good way to explain it.
Okay.
But
Nice.
so those are the 2 I've been playing, and then a little bit of Overwatch here and there. Not as much
You like every time I'm on PS4, whenever you're playing Overwatch.
I do like to play my Overwatch. I haven't played as much lately, but Overwatch was my jam for a while there. I got to I was out like it took me a couple weeks, and I was up to like level 40 something. I would wake up, play Overwatch, go to work, come home, play Overwatch.
Yeah. That's like me right now. Stardew Valley.
all you
Wake up,
play.
Stardew Valley.
That's why I wasn't gonna ask you what you were playing, so I didn't know what you're playing. And I'm still playing Breath of the Wild, so it's
I'm
not very
still playing. Yeah, and I'm just still playing South Park as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I have like that game's it's so good.
But that's why I like having all these systems. So if I want to sit back and play something completely different, I can fire up the NES and just go play, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Or I can go play, the first Zelda. Or I have a couple weird ones in there that I'm not sure. But I think my biggest part of the bigger parts of the collection is the Sega Genesis collection, because I got a whole baggie of games for them, and it's like Star Trek. It's like really like obscure ones I've never heard of before. There's one that I have like half the cartridge left, and it's like this like Japanese shoot 'em up game.
What?
And there's no title on the actual cartridge. It's just like part of like an airplane. That's all I see on it.
Hell,
Oh my god.
we're gonna have to.
It's called
like,
the
play this-
Kamikaze game.
Oh,
You just oh why?
that's a racist joke.
Actually, I'm playing Sonic Mania 2 on the PS4. That's really good.
Yeah,
Sonic Mania.
They did a really good job on that game.
That's what happens when you let the fan decide.
yay!
Yay!
That's for the fan to decide.
But mostly it's in PS4. Last couple so no Switch or Wii
no
U for
Switch or
me.
Nintendo or anything. That's blasphemy here on Two Guys in a Game. But
I could fire up that. I got that the old red Wii back there. I could use if I wanted to.
The
yeah.
Wii Mini.
But you have your N64 too, obviously.
I got my N64. I got The only thing I'm missing Nintendo wise is the Wii U, the Switch, and the SNES.
And then Game Boys. Well, you have your.
I have
a
all the
DS.
Game Boys.
Yeah, you have a DS.
I have my Game Boy. I have my Game Boy Color. I have I have a regular DS. I have a 2DS. I have a 3DS. I have a 3DS XL.
There you go.
He almost has as many as Caz does.
No,
He has 37 DS.
I do not. I have. How many DSs do I have? I think I have 7 in total. I have 2 DS Lites. That were my
I have a
younger
Game Boy
siblings. I have a
Pocket.
DSi XL. I have. Well, do I?
Like what the third time you brought up that Game Boy Pocket?
Yeah.
The Game Boy SP.
Game Boy
Advance.
Pocket is
Game
far
Boy Advance
superior.
SP. That was like my favorite thing I picked up. When I picked that up, I couldn't believe it. I got it for $20. Came with the charge cord, and then I walked over to another dealer in the flea market and got Pokemon Fire Red for like $10, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." So, yeah,
Cool. Well, one thing that I wanted to have Brandon on for, just kind of as we unfortunately have to get ready to wrap this up because we're slowly running out of time here in real life. Brandon here, aside from being a massively, awesomely wicked producer and individual and human being,
I'll take it.
well, that's your opinion.
What do you think of Brandon?
No, I think he's great too.
Yeah, there you go.
He gave me my new nickname, the Lawnmower.
We were both kind of lawnmowers last week. We didn't really see the lawnmower.
No,
cast
you
last
know,
week.
I'm the lawnmower. You're the weed whacker.
Oh yes, that's
you,
right.
you pick up all the
Dun,
trim.
dun,
around-
dun.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, no, I don't want to say. No, I'm cutting.
What were you gonna say?
I said
No,
you pick
please.
up
I
all
was
the
sitting
trim.
there listening to you guys while I'm playing Zach's Switch, and I'm like, holy crap, they have not even started on the topic yet. And I'm
I
like,
know. We were like an hour in, and I was like, oh shit.
I literally figured out like all the controls to Super Mario Odyssey, and you guys still hadn't started on the topic
He
yet.
had beaten Breath of the Wild, which is really hard to do, and we still hadn't gotten to our topic.
It took me a week, but I beat Breath of the Wild. And you guys finally got on topic.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad. But it is what it is. It happens on Two Guys in a Game. But
Yep, 2 guys in a tangent. You mean?
Two Guys in a Tangent and a game. But Brandon used to do some streaming
I did.
on Twitch, some gaming, and then also some gaming stuff on YouTube. So like, I was just a little curious to kind of quickly talk about what was the deal with all that? Like, what? How did that whole thing start? And what?
I just really like the idea of live streaming on Twitch. And so I already had the computer. So I'm like, okay, I have the computer. All I need is some computer games and I can stream. So I started streaming. What did I start streaming? I can't remember what I started streaming, but it ended up being a lot of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I would use the Pokemon Showdown Simulator and just battle people who were watching my stream.
Or me
Or you.
with my fighting only team.
Yeah, and then
Fighting only team.
and then I did a Pokemon Pokemon Platinum randomizer Nuzlocke.
Oh, that's fun.
It was fun. It was scary, but it was
Who'd
fun.
you have on your team?
I had a Quagsire. I had Quagsire helped me beat Cynthia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
because what was it? I think he took a.
They said Quagmire first.
Her ace was a Toxicroak.
Okay.
It was a Toxicroak with Swords Dance. No, Nasty Plot. It was a Nasty Plot Toxicroak, and I think it got +4. It was +4 with the Nasty Plot, and near the end, it was confused at the time. It hit 2 Nasty Plots, and the last time it got confused. I'm like, hit yourself because it's +4. It's gonna take me out. I'm like half health of this Quagsire.
With his Quagmire.
And it hits me with the Sludge Bomb. I mean, it's resisted by a Quagsire, but oh my god, I had 3 hit points left when I did it, And just to be a dickbag, I was using Fisher the whole time. But on that last hit, it hit me with the sludge bomb. I lived at like 3 HP, and I hit the Fisher.
Which
to
is
beat
like
that
a
Toxicroak, which is a one-hit KO move.
Yeah,
but it has like 35% accuracy.
Yeah, it misses all the time. 35% of the time, it misses all
the time. But then somebody told me that there's also a level gap where if you're higher level, it has better chance to hit. But still, it was just. And there's a video of it on YouTube, and it was just clutch. I don't remember what I named the Quagsire. I feel like I named it like Reggie or something, or like something like
Reggie. I think you did name it Reggie.
something like that. But like after that, I wanted to go to the name raider and change his name to Clutch because it came through.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun to just kind of. And then I got into the Photoshop and I would design layouts and find different games I could play. I remember one night playing a game called Party Hard. Where literally you're just a guy that has to go and kill people at a party. It's just like 16. It's like this 8-bit.
Shaking your head.
It's like this 8-bit
I remember
game.
the game now.
It's like this 8-bit game where like you're a guy that has to go into a party, kill as many people as possible without getting caught by the cops. And as you're killing people, there's cops coming and collecting the bodies, and you just have to keep on going around the little map that it gives you, and be like, "No, I don't know.
I don't know anything about this."
And like you can store people, so you
Stab
can store
someone.
people in places like, oh, you can kill this guy and like shove him in a dumpster, and like they'll never find him, and like different levels. And then eventually, I think I got stuck on this one where it was like this big campsite, and you have to go around, like you go on stage and like you have to kill all the people watching the concert first, and then you can go on stage and start killing the people giving the concert.
That's great.
And I'm like, wow, I'm just killing all these people. I'm like, I think the band might see me kill this last guy in the crowd. Everybody else is dead, and they've been collected by like the cops who put these people in body bags and walk them out and take them away. I'm like, there's one guy left in the crowd. I think they might see me. But no, I was able to beat it, and it was just that was a lot of fun, that one. I remember I got raided that night by another streamer who sent me like 100 people.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like
'cause I was
100 people
watching
watching
and
me.
you started getting, because I was like because I always went on and I'd comment, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, blah blah blah. Like I'd always try and like initiate people in the chat.
Yeah.
And I remember like all these people started coming on. And I was like, what the fuck?
At least you try to initiate them, just instead of like Ryan who tried to trigger them.
Yeah, I know. Didn't work. Just an alarm. Just an alarm.
Oh, just
but yeah, like it's just.
No, there's the other one. I actually got my account suspended for 24 hours because I was trying to play Honey Pop on there. I didn't realize what that game was until I started playing. And then
What is that game real quick?
And then I'm like, wow, like there's no activity. There's like, there's nobody watching, and like there's 8 people watching, and now there's nobody watching, and then it's like, oh, your account's been suspended for 24 hours because of nudity and all that. I'm like, I didn't even get to that part. At least let me get to the boobs.
At least let me get to the boobs.
So that was a learning experience, but no, it was a lot of fun. And now I think Garrett's starting to.
He's gonna start streaming.
He's done already like 3 live streams
When was this?
last week.
What the fuck?
Yeah, if you go under Dark Runner Gaming on Twitch, he's been doing a couple live streams.
Of all people, he doesn't tell me.
I know, right?
Wow. What a
But he's
jerk.
doing that, and
He's trying to,
but
get at you. He's
but
trying
I
to
was
take
hoping-
our viewers away.
I was hoping though that you guys can do a live stream when Red Dead 2 comes out. I want you guys to live stream because I have all the equipment here to live stream. And all I would do is I would move all the audio stuff we have in the corner. I would take my TV from upstairs, put it on there, have my PS4. I need that Elgato capture card, and we could stream Red Dead 2 onto Twitch.
Yeah,
That could be the inaugural 2 guys in a game live stream.
That could be fun.
We need to do it on YouTube or Twitch. Doesn't matter.
We did it
we
on,
definitely
like,
have to do
Instagram.
one with Breath of the Wild one time, where we just create a new file, we
Yeah.
just goof around with it.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure. But then you kind of move on to like the YouTube stuff.
I did YouTube. I had the
did a couple
YouTube
Let's
channel for
Plays.
a while. That's when I did the Gilbert Gottfried Plays Video Games. That was a lot of fun to put those together.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff in there I deleted because I remember the Grand Theft Auto. That was an hour's worth of material. I had to grind down into like 15 minutes. And half of it was
they're
Benny Hill
really
videos.
funny videos. Like,
Yeah, they are.
I'm not just saying that 'cause I'm your friend, but like they were actually really funny.
And then me and
videos.
Ryan did like a NHL playoff predictions video by just playing games as the teams who were playing and just going off that. Wait, I don't think we finished that one. And then we did Emily Wants to Play.
Which is one of the best ones. It was you, Ryan, and then our buddy Nathan.
Yeah.
It was so good.
But like I just hated video editing. I hated it so
Yeah.
much.
It's tedious.
It'd be like it was fun to play the games for like an hour and all that, but then you have to sift through an hour of content and be like, okay, what am I keeping and what am I getting rid of?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'd rather do it with just audio. It's a lot easier to just do it with audio because then I could just sit back and listen and just take out whatever doesn't need to be in there.
That's why we podcast and don't YouTube.
Yeah.
Podcasting is far superior.
It was fun, like doing all the if you're thinking about creating YouTube content, do it because it's fun, but be ready to edit a lot of stuff.
Yeah, almost like
more time editing.
I always say to people, like they'll come to me and be like, "Hey man, like I want to start creating content. What should I do?" I mean, I always recommend doing a podcast. That's just me, but I'll say to people, you know what? Do like 5 or 6 videos, record them, and then edit them all.
Yeah,
and then at the end of that, if you still want to do it, right on. Even do 10. Do 10. Edit them all.
Yeah,
have them ready to go. And if at the end of that you're like, okay, yeah, I want to do this still, then you're good. Because with me, like I did the Hodder Plays stuff for like literally, which I've never talked about on the podcast before. But
we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk
Those
about
were
that.
dark times.
Those were dark times for TJ. Because it was
dark
like
times.
I wanted to do like the live.
They were the best
streaming.
of times. They were the worst of times.
And like I did like one YouTube video of like showing off my Fallout settlement, and I edited that. And it literally took me like 5 days to edit this like 20-minute video properly. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like, what the hell is... I got it where I wanted it, but I was like, this is bullshit.
What did you edit it on? Movie Maker?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Windows Movie Maker.
There's nothing wrong with doing that.
2007 edition.
2006, actually.
Oh, 2006 edition. I'm still on Windows XP.
I'm on Windows 98. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of
Windows
Aldred...
2000.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll stick with Windows 10.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Speaking of Aldred, as we get ready to wrap it up here today, I do believe it is now time for the shout-outs.
Shout-outs initiated.
You can do it live.
Yeah, I guess I can. Shout-outs initiating.
But yeah, shout-outs to our number one fan and good buddy of the show, Mr. Dylan Hunter.
Yeah.
He's always,
You get a
enjoyed last
shout
week's
out.
episode.
You get a shout out.
I get a shout-out.
No, I just, it's like
Everybody
Oprah,
gets a
how
shout-out.
she gives stuff away,
Oh, Oprah gives... Yeah, okay. Anyway, shout-outs to our good friends over at the Drinks with Larry podcast, as well as the Still Loading podcast, our buddy Josh. Always releasing some good content over there, so definitely go ahead and check them out. Kaz, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to me for being awesome. I deserve that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shout out to the Two Guys in a Game podcast.
It's like Nicolas Cage accepting an Oscar.
I deserve this.
I deserve this. I earned this by portraying National Treasure 2. No, no. Shout out to 3 guys in a game this week.
Yeah,
3 guys.
2 guys and a producer.
Yeah, sure.
2 guys and a producer.
I'm just thinking about Nicolas Cage accepting an Oscar. Can you do an impression of Nicolas Cage accepting an offer or an Oscar? How can I do an impression of something that's never going to happen? I want to thank my whole family for this. It was hard, but I can't. No, see, you can't do an impression of something that'll never
Gene
happen.
Simmons accepting an Oscar.
I could do
No, just kidding.
Keanu Reeves
Just
accepting an Oscar.
And the Oscar goes to Gene Simmons.
From Kiss.
And he just walks off from Kiss.
Yeah. From Kiss.
I could do Jack accepting an Oscar. Wow! Thank you, Yusei, for this award. Yusei's not here. Where is he? He came. What? But then he left. Oh.
He came. Then he went. Ow.
Oh.
That will never not be funny. Brandon, any shouts you want to give as we get ready to sign off here? Any shouts?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Just wanted to ask. So
I'm not a pro like you guys. I don't have like all this. I don't have all this social network. This whole social network you guys have of like all these like hundreds of people you know.
You mean I have?
Yeah, like I don't have anybody. I just like tag along with TJ.
Yeah.
Well, Zach has his Stardew Valley wife that he could shout out.
That's true. Shout out to Emily, my Stardew Valley wife, and my 2 kids. Patrick, I named him Patrick, so when he's older I can call him Rick. And can't remember what I named my daughter. Crap.
You say?
You
say?
You
Jack.
Jack. I named my daughter Jack.
Yeah, I don't even have a Stardew Valley to family to shout out.
You can get one right now. Go ahead on Steam. It's like $16. Start a Stardew Valley family.
Absolutely. But no, as we are signing off right now, Brandon is also, we haven't mentioned it at all, but he's also the host of a wonderful podcast entitled Radio A. So where can the people find that, Brandon?
They can find it on SoundCloud and iTunes. And
awesome.
Anything else that iTunes branches out into that I'm not aware of.
Bunch of stuff, Castbox and all this other fun stuff. Brandon, it's been fun.
I was doing it a weekly Monday thing, but now I'm just going to do it whenever I want.
Whenever you feel like
there
it.
you go.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll figure out a day or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Well, fuck it. Anyway, Brandon, thank you very much for coming on,
Thank you
hanging
for
out with
having
us.
me.
Been a lot of fun. Kaz.
Yeah, thank
Cucumber
you.
Caz.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you for co-hosting.
Thank you for having me on your show again for the 10th time in a row.
You're welcome. No. Thank you for doing this with me, Caz. It's been fun. Fist bump for episode 10. Boom.
Fist pump.
Woo!
You guys made it.
We made it, guys. We did it.
Big time.